Hey guys, my name's Izzy Marco and I'm a chef here at the Bay Grocer. Today I'm going to show you how to make beef brisket Melbourne style. So let's have some fun. Alrighty, let's start by getting some of our spices. Actually, on our way, I'm going to grab some nice cocoa here. Maybe some of Grounded Pleasures, that's some pretty good stuff. All right, go around here. What a selection I've got to choose from, eh? Pretty lucky. So I'm just going to grab some sweet paprika. Beauty. Chuck that in there. Some smoked as well. Obviously we'll be smoking the brisket today, but it's nice to get a bit of extra smokiness. All right. Let me get a clean spoon because we're going to go for the garlic. That. Oh, bit of mess, sorry guys. Ding, ding, ding. Help on aisle 3. And bit of cayenne. Now I won't go too overboard because some like it, I like it spicy, but some people don't. So just a little bit of that. There we go. And some salt just here. So many beautiful options, but I think some sea salt flakes, that'd be nice. And then some brown sugar, soft brown sugar. All right, there we go. I think that's all I need for now. We'll come back if I need something else. All right. All right, so we've got some soft brown sugar, some salt. I'll be using those for the brine. We're going to make a brine for the brisket. And then later to make the rub, we've got our different paprikas, some cayenne, garlic, also a bit of cocoa powder. Actually, to make it Melbourne style, I reckon I'm going to need some coffee. And we've got some ground coffee already used up. That just gets put out the front. It's actually a cool thing because you can use it for a bunch of stuff. So grab a bag when you're here next to Bay Grocer, it's free. You can put it in your garden. It's a natural insect repellent. You can put it in a body scrub. And today we're going to use it in the rub. Let's get some. Hello. Thank you, madam. There we are. All right. Start off by making our brine. First, we're going to get 10 litres of water. I find it's easier to mix it up in a bucket, but whatever container you're going to put your brisket in, that's also fine. All right, guys, we're going to start by making our brine. The reason we make a brine is to keep the meat tender, keep the moisture in the meat. Obviously, we're cooking it for a very long time. So if you don't do this, then it could dry out. Let's start by putting our brown sugar. This is about 200 grams of brown sugar in 10 litres of water, just plain water. That in. Then we have 400 grams of salt. Doesn't really matter what kind of salt you use, that's fine. All right, now we're going to give that a good mix. And basically you just want everything to dissolve. So shouldn't take too long. You can let that sit if you want, but yeah, that's it. That's your brine ready. All right, so we've got about 1 cup of soft brown sugar here. This is for the rub. We'll add all our spices that we did. So it's about 6 tablespoons of sweet paprika, 3 of smoked, 3 of garlic powder. Now, like I said before, the spice, it's up to you how spicy you want to go. I kind of go half a teaspoon. But you can go more. I do like it sometimes when it's more, it's just everyone else. 3 tablespoons of salt. Forgot to grab some before, but we've got some black pepper as well, just a couple of tablespoons of that. Our beautiful cocoa, about a couple of those. That'll do. And of course, our ground coffee that we pinched from the cafe before. Put that in there. Now, why ground coffee? That's going to give it beautiful, smoky, warm, cocoa-y flavour. You can also change it to how you like it. If you want to add more salt, sugar, more spices, different spices. These are just all the bits that I like. All right, so here's a piece of brisket. Shout out to my guys at Trevor Mead down the road. They look after me with the meat. Now, obviously, for the sake of filming this video, it's a long process preparing a brisket. So I've got 4 different pieces of meat that I've gotten to the different stages so that I can show you guys. But yeah, if you see any moments that you're like, hang on, that doesn't look like the exact same piece of meat, it's because it's not, guys. Ben behind the camera doesn't want to hang out with me for 4 days. All right, so let's open it up. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim away the sinew. So the stuff that's gonna be tough and not that nice to eat. Obviously we wanna leave the fat. That white fat is gonna be beautiful. That'll baste the meat as it's smoking and cooking. But we do need to give it a bit of a trim up. So I'll show you how we do that. So see all this sort of pink stuff here that's kind of coming up like that? That's what you wanna try and get off. Whereas on this side, if I flick it around, this is all fat. That's beautiful. You don't wanna touch any of that. And obviously we want to try and avoid taking off much meat. The main way to notice the difference is the color. So the fat's going to be nice and white, whereas this pink stuff, that's what you want to get rid of. All right. So you just sort of hook your knife on underneath. That gives you something to sort of hold on to. And then you're rubbing it across, and that should come off. So see that, guys? That's what you want, is that all that sinew's off, but the meat is left intact. So grab a container that's gonna fit your brisket. This one's pretty big, but this is a good size. Now we're gonna grab our brine that we did earlier. So I don't know if you wanna see what that looks like, but you can see it's still dark because of the soft brown sugar, but everything's been dissolved, so that's perfect. I recommend doing this as close as possible to the fridge because you obviously don't wanna have to haul this very far. It gets heavy. There we go. And then we will pop our brisket straight into that. And that's it. Now this, covered into the fridge, will stay there for 2 days. All right, so here's our piece that has been in the brine for a couple of days. So as you can see, it's a different color now because it's been brining, but that's perfect. That's what you want. Don't be afraid of that. This little piece, unfortunately, is still a little bit red because it's been sitting out of the water, but that's all right. No problem. Let's first give it a bit of a dry though. Use some paper towel. Just get rid of all that moisture. So you can see, guys, this is a different sort of shape to the one that I was trimming before. The one that I was trimming before is this sort of end of it. So you usually do get a bit of this sort of, this shape, smaller edge. Both is beautiful. Don't worry about what piece you get. All right, so get that on there. Go. Rub that in. And be nice and generous. Get all the different edges. All right, incredible. Just use it up as well. You want a nice, what they call brisket bark, which is that bit on the outside that has all that flavor. Doesn't it smell good? I wish you guys could smell it. We're gonna take it over to our Traeger. Let's crank it up. Get it up to heat, and then we'll put this bad boy in. Everyone loves the smell of this when it's cranking. All right, so remember we've got our brisket in there, but first we're gonna chuck on the Traeger. So pretty simple, just turn on there. We're gonna put it to 105 super smoke setting. But guys, you don't have to smoke with a Traeger. There's other ways of smoking. It's my favorite way, but you can also, I think there's offset smokers there, like chunks of timber burning. This is a pellet smoker. You've also got, you can use your Weber at home with your charcoal. So there's options, you know, and brisket as well doesn't have to be smoked. You can braise it, long cooking over the stove. But yeah, this is my favorite way. Turn on our Traeger, start with on button, we're gonna go super smoke, 105. It'll take about 15 minutes to get started. Ignite that up. Once that gets to temperature, we'll put in our brisket. You don't wanna put in your brisket cold. That'll just make it even longer that you have to wait for this to be ready to go. It's just about up to temperature now, so we're going to get our meat into it. Open it up. Look at that. Looks good already. Put that nice in there. You want the fat, the kind of fattier part to be on top. And the reason for that is you want all that fat as it heats up and as it drips down, you want it to baste the meat constantly. Otherwise, if it's underneath, it's just gonna drip down onto the alfoil and not give any flavor. So yeah, that's it. We'll leave that in there now for about 90 minutes, checking up on it, making sure everything's going all right. And yeah, all right, so this has been smoking away for 90 minutes. So we're gonna have a little look-see. Oh yeah. You can see it's starting to darken up, the edges starting to crisp up. Beautiful, looks amazing. So it's gonna stay here for another 90 minutes, but we're gonna up the temperature. So we're gonna take it to 170 and leave it sleep for another 90 minutes. So basically now it's not gonna be on super smoke. It'll still have lots of smoke in there. But yeah, if you do use a Traeger and you notice on here it says super smoke cancelled, that's fine, that's perfect. So this is done. So no more smoking needed. We're gonna now put it in the oven overnight. That's gonna finish off all the cooking, keep on the tenderizing, and it's gonna be beautiful and soft tomorrow morning. So what we wanna do is we wanna wrap this up with a bit of baking paper. All right. So it's nice and covered. Go underneath even a little bit, down the sides. That. More this way. Just wrap it up in the tray. Now here's a little trick with alfoil, which I learnt from Marie, Chef Marie here. So you've got your shiny side and you've got your dull side. The shiny side, of course, is going to reflect heat. So usually you want to put that towards your meat. That's going to condense the heat a little bit better than if you put the dull side to your meat. Cool, right? Yeah. So that's done. So now all we're going to do is we're going to put it in the oven at 87 degrees and it's going to stay there all night. And that's it. Just make sure no one turns off your oven. This has been in overnight. Let's take it out, have a little look. I'll explain to you what we're looking for. Look at that. Oh. All right, so you're gonna give it a little bit of a feel. Make sure, see that wobbly, nice and soft, that's what you want. So it's completely tender, all of those connective tissues broken down, lots of beautiful gelatin in that. That's just gonna be melt in your mouth. So at this stage, you can decide what you want to do. I like to slice it into nice slices to put on the plate, but you can also rip it apart. Definitely you want to let it cool. So if you're going to slice it, you need it to be fully cool, cold. Otherwise it'll sort of break apart. If you're going to rip it apart into those little sort of bits and pieces, what would you call that? Shredded brisket, then it doesn't have to be as cold. But yeah, I'd say at least a couple of hours in the fridge. So this one, what I want to do and what I want to show you guys is slicing it. So obviously I've got a piece that I prepared earlier that's already cold. So let me go and grab that one. So you want to get yourself a nice big sharp knife for this. And I kind of like slices around, I don't know, 3/4 of a centimetre or so. Just nice big strokes. You don't want to chop it up too much. There you go. Look at that. So if you look at it from this point, that's the smoky flavour coming in, all that border. That's just delicious. So yeah, that's what you're looking for. And we're cutting it this way, not that way, because you want to see all these little grains here. That'll keep it together. If you go the other way, it'll still be delicious, but it'll just fall apart. You won't have the slices. Nice and gentle, but strong, big strokes. Thanks, Mum and Dad, for buying me this epic knife, by the way. Shout out. Might have to give it a try. So I'm just going to very carefully transfer my pieces over to a baking dish. Try and use your nice big flat knife, again, so it doesn't break up. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop it back in the oven, same temperature as what we left it in overnight, 87, around that. And it's already cooked, so we don't want to overcook this. We don't want it to be much hotter than that. All right, so we've warmed up our brisket pieces. Let's take them out. There we go. Let's plate some of this up. I'm going to get a couple of these nice slices, trying not to fall apart too much. Some white cabbage, purple cabbage, shredded carrot, half a cup of mayo, half a cup of yogurt, salt, pepper, a little bit of vinegar, and that's it. So put that on, some pickles. Got so many good pickles here at the Bay Grocer. Take your pick. A bit of barbecue sauce. Go. Now that is my plate for brisket. Cut one of these in half. There we go. Put a bit of that barbecue sauce on the bottom. Nice. That. Get some more of this brisket. Maybe I'll cut that in half. Like that. Beauty. Pickles first, I reckon. Nice mound on there. There we go. Coleslaw on top. Let's see how full we can get this burger. Put it on a plate. There we go, guys. Check that out. Look at all the colours. Looks all right. I don't know, maybe you've converted me. Maybe now I want the burger instead, eh? All right. Just chuck these down here. That pink border is exactly what you want. Looks great. I will. Let's see if I can get it up. What's this business? Beautiful, yeah, church Whoa. Oh yeah. That's when you go, the time was worth it.